The light was constant. It hovered just above her shoulder, a diamond-white sphere that cut through the city haze like a scalpel. Lyra walked the center of the street, her pace measured, her gaze fixed on the horizon. Every step was calculated to ensure the radiance never faltered. To her left, a man reached out, his hand trembling, his eyes reflecting the harsh glare of her presence. Lyra did not blink. She did not slow. She shifted her weight, angled her body, and bypassed him as if he were a shadow cast by a stone. The protocol was absolute. No contact with the ground. No acknowledgement of the gray-skinned citizens who huddled in the doorways, shielding their eyes from her brilliance. She was a beacon that burned everyone who came too close. She reached the plaza and stopped. The light hummed, a low-frequency vibration that rattled in her teeth. It was a weight she carried, a cold, relentless pressure. She looked at the faces of the crowd, but she saw only the glare she cast upon them. She was the brightest object in Orizon, and in that brilliance, she was entirely, suffocatingly alone. She turned a corner, the light swinging with her, carving a path of sterile white through the gathering dusk. She was a prisoner of the glow, waiting for a moment of silence. The wind changed. It did not just blow, it struck. A sudden, violent shove that caught Lyra off guard. She stumbled, her feet sliding on slick stone. The diamond-white sphere above her shoulders sputtered. It flickered once, twice, and then vanished with a sharp, dying pop. The world collapsed into absolute, suffocating black. She hit the ground hard, her palms sinking into cold, wet mud. Gasping, she clawed air, blind. Then, a soft scraping sound broke the silence. A silhouette detached itself from the alley wall. It was a boy, standing perfectly still. Lyra scrambled backward, her voice trembling as she screamed, "Where is your light?" The boy did not glow. He laughed, a low, steady sound. He pulled a piece of charcoal from his pocket and pressed it against the damp wall, sketching the erratic, beautiful ripples of rain in the puddles. He reached out and handed her a piece of parchment, then pointed upward. Lyra looked. Above the city, the sky was filled with thousands of tiny, pulsing stars. The wonder of the stars lasted only a heartbeat. From the mouth of the alley, the rhythmic, heavy thud of boots shattered the silence. It was a sound Lyra knew well. It was the sound of order, of protocols, of the palace. She stood up, her knees trembling, mud clinging to her skin. 3 figures emerged from the gloom, their faces obscured by the shadows of their own helmets. They did not speak. They moved with mechanical precision, closing the distance until the alley felt like a cage. One of them stepped forward, holding a rod of polished steel. It hummed, a jagged, high-pitched whine that made the air around it shimmer with static. This was the reignition device. It was designed to force a surge of electricity directly into her core, to restore her blinding status. The guard leveled the rod at her chest. Lyra looked at the device, then at the charcoal-stained hands of the boy standing beside her. The hum intensified, demanding she submit. It was a choice between the safe, sterile lie and the messy, terrifying truth. She stood frozen. The hum of the device became a roar, vibrating against her teeth. Lyra stared at the blue sparks, then looked down at the dark mud staining her palms. She did not flinch. With a sudden, sharp motion, she swung her arm, knocking the rod aside. The guards stumbled back, caught off guard by her resistance. She did not wait for them to recover. She let the tears fall, hot and fast, carving clean tracks through the grime on her face. As the salt water hit the ground, the air around her shifted. The blinding white radiation that had defined her existence did not return. Instead, a soft, warm amber glow bloomed from her core, pulsing with a steady, living rhythm. It was not the piercing glare of the palace, but it was enough to reveal the faces of the guards, the texture of the stone walls, and the boy standing in the shadows. She stepped past the stunned guards, her movements fluid and defiant. She walked directly to the king, who stood at the edge of the alley, his expression unreadable. "I do not want to blind people anymore," she said, her voice steady and clear, echoing off the narrow walls. "I want to help them see." Months later, the city of Orizon breathed differently. In the center of the district, Lyra and Kael stood before a new school, where the air was no longer thick with the hum of artificial radiance. They worked with the citizens, guiding them through the simple, radical act of dimming their own lights. It was a slow process of unlearning. People who had spent their entire lives polishing their personal glows until they were hollow with exhaustion finally let their brightness fade. They learned to sit in the quiet. They learned to look up. The sky above the city was no longer a void, but a vast, sprawling map of stars. We spend our lives trying to outshine everyone on our feeds, burning ourselves out to maintain a brilliance that blinds us. But the stars only reveal themselves when the lights go down. True connection begins the moment we stop trying to outshine the world and finally look up together.